am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is right, just representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over your son.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Picnic Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
I can't hear you.
You hearing me now?
I can hear you now, yes.
All right, wonderful. People, from you see the colors, you know that it's going to be the best ever show on this platform because we support a great team and we have great mind and it's going to be a great breakdown. My co-host today is the man in the Jamaican cap over there. He is called Stan Cranky, the one who spends all the money. Sir Cranky, welcome.
Well, thank you, Mannings, man. It's great to be here to talk about what we're both passionate about, which is Arsenal Football Club. Talk about the state of the club, how we're doing, current transfer process, and perspective on upcoming. What's upcoming for the season, how we think we'll do. So I'm looking forward to the discussion. Be good.
All right, wonderful. All right, so I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the platform. As usual, we don't like to break our discussion to talk about likes and subscribe and sharing. So we say that up front and at the back end. So please, if you're coming on, welcome. Good afternoon to you. Good morning or good evening, wherever you're watching from. Again, look up, lift up, and live up. That's how we are to take life. Want to welcome Fresh God, all the mods. Please help us to monitor what's happening in the comment section. So once you come on, you have a comment. If we don't see it and speak to it at first, you can always retype it and we will get to it. All right. And we see Gunners Boss already. Yes, all the Arsenal fans roll out. Don't make the Chelsea man believe like when they have a podcast. they're big. So invite all the Arsenal fans to come over and be a part of the discussion. But where do we start, Cranky? So many things happening. You know, do we?
I think we could talk about the state of the club, right? So we earn our money the right way, the American way. we didn't cut when Russia changed over from communism to a more privatized way. We didn't have all that money that flowed into the UK and bought Chelsea and then have oil money come over. So actually, part of our challenge was is that the Crankies try to build a program which is a sustainable program. So anyone running a business, any business in life, and I know some people don't think that football is a business, but it's a business and big business, want to make sure the business is profitable. You know, it's going to put money in and you don't get money out, which is what Abramovich did for Chelsea. And to a lesser extent, I would say what we're seeing with Man City, I may see with Newcastle. I think Man City has invested not only in the team, but also in the surrounding areas, really develop that area. But also, you know, people say they're doing sports washing, which is they have challenging their country. They use sports team as a way to manage how they're viewed on a global basis. And I think they have like 14 or so teams in different countries and that expanding. But come back to Arsenal, which is we are now changing how we operate, which is more of, you know what? Life has changed. We have the traditional powerhouses. Well, I wouldn't say traditional, the current powerhouses, which are the Liverpools, the Man Cities, the Chelseas. And Man U used to be in that bunch. But Man U has fallen off somewhat since Ferguson has left. So what we have now are the top three and I call it the remaining fighting for that one open slot, right?
Remaining 17.
Tottenham, and then to a lesser extent to the West Ham coming. And Newcastle is not far away. They're trying to do it prudently, not like Chelsea does.
What about Leicester City, who had major investment and rebuild stadium and all of those things? Their women's team doing well. The city itself has also changed and transformed since they have the new owners.
Well, Leicester won the league, as you know, which wasn't expected when teams were just poor. They're challenged, right? Their owner is only valued at 1.5 billion, I think it is. You're not in the right league if you're 1.5 billion. You need to be in plus number. Think about Newcastle, which their sovereign fund is about 250 billion. You think about Kroenke, was 10 point something billion and married to the Walton family. Think about Man City owners who are multiples of billion. Chelsea now own the Dodgers. So you got to be in that, not the billionaires club, the multiple billionaires club to be competing. Now, we do have FFP, but FFP has been somewhat of a joke because what happens is if you can sponsor yourself, what's the use of FFP? Or you do what Abramovich did, which was he loaned the club a lot of money and they use that money to invest in the club. We're trying to do it the more traditional way, but realizing that that's not working. So you see the Kroenke are putting more debt, because the club had little debt, you know, more debt being undertaken to fund operations, trying to generate more commercial revenues. And we invested about 140, 150 last year.
Yeah.
We'll do the same again this year. So you think about, people say the Kroenkes don't invest, Manningsman, but that's not true. What happens is, Manningsman, don't
invest wisely.
Never focus on gross number. Focus on net number. Very important. People misconstrue this. So I spent 100 million. So I buy $100 million worth of asset, but I actually sold 90 million. I want to spend 10 net. That's what Liverpool does brilliant.
Right. That's what Liverpool.
Liverpool does brilliant.
And City is very good at that too, because City is going to let go of Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus. So when you add up those money, they just bought Haaland and Calvin Phillips. So the net spend is minimal.
Well, I think for City, they initially weren't operating that way, right? Because they had to invest to get the team to a certain stature. Now that they have done so, what they're doing, because they buy so much quality asset, they can afford to sell that asset for more than pay for it. So Jesus was about 20-something million. We paid 45. Torres, I think, was 20-something, 30-something. They got 50 from Barcelona. So they're making net profit, which they can reinvest in the Calvin Phillips. If they sell Sterling, give them the Haaland number, the Sterling number, they're going to be in a net profit situation in terms of sales and purchases versus us, who we are the worst in world football when it comes to net spend. No, seriously, man, it's really bad. And you can go back through history. The last 3 years will give you a view as to how awful we have been, atrocious we have been around net spend. So let's think about players. Whether it's the Gabriel, defender from Brazil, who was 30-something mil, Mustafi, Socrates, even the Pepes of the world, Ozil, Sanchez. You look at the list of players we have got. Aubameyang Lacazette was about 110 million pounds.
Right, yes. 60
and 50-something.
And 50-something, yes.
So we have gotten zero back, Manningsman. So think about zero for Aubameyang, Zero for Ozil. Ozil was 40-something mil.
Yeah.
No, Sanchez was 30-something mil. Ozil 40-something mil. Between those four players is almost 200 mil. Out the door, no return. And had huge salaries. You don't see that with Liverpool. Liverpool sold Coutinho for 100+ mil. They sold for 75 mil. So they can reinvest that money to buy the Alisson and Van Dijks. We don't have that luxury. That's why we struggle.
Yeah. So it is not that, it is that we haven't spent wisely and we haven't managed the money that has been invested in the club wisely. Because some of this is, and that could be because of the instability in terms of leadership, because we have had the director of football or the person who leads that change. Gazidis, he left. After Arsene Wenger, like so many changes has happened. I think was one of those who has left, and now Edu is in charge. So all of these things. So they had some players that they brought in. This person came in. Those players went out because you keep, which is what is happening to Manchester United, I think, as well. That if you don't have stability at the top, that sounds like the JFF. If you don't have stability, if you don't have stability at the top, that is what going to happen. That is what will happen. Liverpool has been steady in terms of ownership and leadership of their football since Brandon Rodgers has left.
Well, no, it's not Brandon that was the problem. It was the previous owner. FSG took over, and FSG is a private equity fund that owned the Boston Red Sox, who are used to doing these kind of deals and used to managing team prudently, and very smart people. You have to have money people, management. People understand the numbers and how they work. You have to have good scouts, as you say, a good infrastructure. And we have been awful in terms of who we acquire. We've tried to buy cheap. We always try to negotiate price down to the last dollar, and last pound, I should say, since they do it in pounds. And then we end up buying people who are just not quality. And so we can't even get rid of them. We can't get rid of most of our players. We bought Torreira for 27 million. We can't get rid of him. We bought Pepe for 72 million. We can't get rid of him. Right? You just think about all those players. We have Callum Chambers we bought for over 10 million. We have to give him to Aston Villa. Most players, and here's the thing, Manning's man. If a new coach comes in, if you're quality, they'll keep you. Most times they'll keep you. If you're real good quality, they want their own players, give them their style of play and their system. But we haven't had the quality.
Yeah. All of you Manchester United fans talking about, I'm out. Fresh God and Balakar, you guys are talking about Arsenal, I'm out. Stay in the chat and listen to some common sense football. We still get to Manchester United.
We're not talking about any team that finished behind us. We're looking ahead. We don't look behind us because you're behind, you don't really matter. We're looking ahead because we're focused on going forward.
This has been something that has been branded about in the media, at least on Arsenal fan TV overseas. Many of those fan TV keep on saying the crankies, which don't make any sense to me because Arsenal ain't making money. So what money are they taking out of Arsenal to put in the Rams, who have been in the last Super Bowl finals, the Avalanche, who have always done well, the Denver Nuggets, who are every year they are in the playoffs? Why would they take money out of those money-making franchises, out of Arsenal, to fund those franchises that are already making tons of money?
So I think people are confused about how this finances work. The only person you should listen to who talks about finances and is very informed is Simon Jordan, who comes and talks sports in the morning from 4 Jamaica time to he comes in US time from 5 to 8, so it's about 3 hours. And he was the owner of Crystal Palace, very informed, very knowledgeable. And I get frustrated hearing people from AFTV talking, including people like Turkish and all that. Who I think Turkish is a smart kid, but sometimes I get frustrated hearing them talk about numbers and investment, like I do with a lot of English fans. So here's the thing, Manning's man. If you invest $1 billion in something, or $2 billion, you own it. I hate to tell people in England this, but you no longer own the team. It's owned by the person who spent $2 billion for it. Now, if I put $2 billion in a business, I expect to get a return on my investment. Now, the return is going to come twofold. One is I could get a dividends I pay myself, like Man U does, because they're public, they pay themselves dividends, or my asset appreciate, so the value goes up.
Yeah.
The Crown can already take money out of Arsenal. So the $2 billion investment they're seeing, yes, it is appreciated, but they're not getting any monthly money, weekly money, annual money out of the club. They don't take any money out. And even if they take, I think they used to take out $3 million and people would lose their mind. And you're like, but I put $2 billion in, why should I take money out? What business are you going to invest in? You put your money in, you go buy a house, a rental property, right? And the man say, you know what? You got to keep fixing up this property. You should take the money out. You're like, but I borrowed the money to buy the property. What do you mean? I got to pay my back loan, or I could invest the money someplace else in the stock market or buy properties and get a return on it. So the logic that people have is misplaced, and AFTV sometimes doesn't do a good job of really educating people about finances, about investment, because I'm sure Robbie's not running his business at a loss. So it makes no sense.
Yeah, so I don't, like I said, that I don't agree with, because for me, common sense is saying it's not like the LA Rams failing, the Denver Nuggets failing, or the Colorado Avalanche failing. So they are making profit. So why would he take money out of the Arsenal, who have been recording losses for the last probably 6 or 7 seasons minimum? Why would he take out money out of Arsenal to put into his other clubs or teams that are making money?
Management, what they need to show us, because I look at the finances sometimes, what money are they taking out? Their finances are publicized a lot of times. What money are they taking out? That's confusing. It makes no sense. First of all the American teams, the Avalanche, the Rams, the Nuggets, are built and structured to make money.
Profit, yes.
Yeah, no. Not only built and structured, the system is built for the owners to make money. That's why they have salary cap. They know what their revenues are. They know what they control the expenses. They know what the bottom line is going to be. Now, some clubs may go over that cap, like you see in basketball with Golden State.
Right, and pay luxury tax and stuff.
Luxury tax. But the system is built, in the UK and in Europe, those systems are not built to make money. That's why Derby is now in administration, because of the system is constructed in a way which, you know what, you can spend a lot of money
and don't make anything in return.
And make no return. Here's another thing, Manning's man. So in the UK, you spend $172 million for Pepe. In the US, the system is a trade. You're not buying anybody, Manning's man. I'm trading assets.
Yeah, that's true. But that's all the time.
I'm trading future assets.
I'm going to give you a joke, right? So Robbie and these guys say, wow, look how much money the Joker, who plays for Denver, they just gave him one of the biggest contracts in NBA history. I hear them talking about, wow, look how much money he gets. That's for, if you spread that out over 5 years, you multiply it monthly, right? And you check how much like some of these guys in the Premier League get in, like the 250, whatever, with no return. It's not like if they steal their contract, most times Arsenal don't recoup that money because they leave for free. But they can always trade the Joker and get higher value asset.
So we should do a show once and we can talk through numbers and give examples. We can understand. So here's the thing, man. If I say my cap is 150, right? So Joker gets 40 a year, Murray gets 40 a year, somebody gets 40. You know how much left, man? About 20 left, man. Because you have there is a cap, and there's no cap for Arsenal. So that's why the players' salary are much more a percentage of the total amount of revenues than you would have in the NBA or the NFL. Yeah. Right? If you can only spend 150 and I make 200, my profit is locked in at 50, I pay my operating expenses, I make 20. You don't have that in the UK. Your salaries could always be as much as the revenues you generate. And FFP is supposed to help solve that. It doesn't, because people find their ways around FFP.
Yeah, good point. And the other complaint that they have in terms of how the club is this argument about season tickets, the prices are, going up. And the point is that the club is not winning. Why are they raising ticket prices? Is there any correlation between the price of season tickets and whether the club is the club winning titles?
I think Arsenal hasn't raised their prices for a long period. You have to be a Knicks fan, man. The Knicks haven't won the championship in 1973. They don't look like they're winning for the next 73 years, and they still raise prices. The price you can buy season tickets in London, I would think maybe about £2,000 for the number of games. So you want 19 games? It works out to be about £100. It's not expensive money. It might be expensive for people there because the average salary in the UK is about £30,000 a year. So for them, yes, and the fan who love football are the normal person on the street. So it may be expensive for them, but in actuality, it's not that expensive. They cry about prices, and Arsenal one time had the highest ticket price, probably still does, but they're in London, right? And they probably raised the prices when they built the Emirates and all that. The problem for Arsenal was when we built the Emirates, the way it was situated, we thought you're gonna differentiate us, right? We would move ahead, be able to compete with Man U on an equitable level, given the revenue we're going to generate from tickets and commercial revenues. It hasn't worked out that way. Now Tottenham seem to have passed us because their revenue is more than what we're generating, and their stadium is set up a futuristic stadium to generate much more revenues, given the naming rights they're going to have, given the NFL affiliation they have. So it's going to be challenging for us actually going forward.
Yeah. Gunners Boss says, let me just read this one and then I'll let you continue. Stan, the owners know nothing most of the time. If you want to learn the ins and outs of the business side of sports, listen to Nothing Personal with David Sampson. He was general manager of the, I think, Florida Marlins. I think that's what he's saying right there.
I don't know Sampson, but I listen to Simon Jordan sometimes because Simon does understand numbers. He was an owner. He owned a business at a very early age. He made hundreds of millions, lost quite a bit of it, but he's very informed.
Yeah. Derby just got a new owner yesterday, I think, because you brought up Derby in being in administration. Yeah. And then Loud Music Entertainment, Gunners fan says, Arsenal played a friendly behind closed doors with Ipswich yesterday, and Ketia scored a hat-trick in 30 minutes. Arsenal won 5-1. Balogun scored 2. I don't pay any attention to that. I saw the game and I saw Bellerin playing and I clicked off.
Yeah, look, I mean, Nketiah does a good job behind closed doors.
I saw Bellerin, Reece Nelson, Ainsley in the starting playing, and I just said, okay, this is not Arsenal playing, so what is the sense of watching?
They're advertising for new roles.
Yeah, no.
New club.
Yeah, they're probably sending video clips or something to some clubs in Europe. Hey, he played. He's still up and running. Do you want to take him? But we make some bad decisions, though, Cranky. A good one is that of Matteo Guendouzi, who we bought when he was just a teenager. Very good player, has his challenges, right? Now we sold him for like $10 million. We had this clause in his loan that it was agreed on from March that no matter how he performed, no matter what he did, what he achieved, what the team accomplished, it was that set price. Now, he would have had 1 year left on his contract if he were at Arsenal. Even if he never renewed, you could at least, if you took him back from loan, could have negotiated a higher price because in this time he became a France international, which means that if the same club were to sell him next week, they would want 30 million for him. What is happening? Why we keep seeing these decisions in the Arsenal system?
So I think sometimes teams and managers make emotive decisions without making financial decisions. So Arteta want to get rid of him at all costs. Didn't really care. He's going to get rid of the player. The player started for us since he came as a teenager, played well for us, went to Germany, didn't work as well, went back to France and did really well, as you say, in the French national team. There's no way Guendouzi is valued under 25 million on transfer market. There's no way. And therefore, you're getting 7, 8 million pounds for him. So you're undersold by 20 million, could reinvest. So that's asinine, and that makes no sense. And that's part of what we do. That's what we do. We just throw away money. Torreira costs 27 mil. We're not looking to sell him for under 12 mil. That's what
15,
we do.
Yeah, our law.
It's going to be under 12 million. It's 15 euros, not pounds.
Oh, okay.
We bought Jack for 37 mil. I'm sure we can get 20 mil for Jack. Every player we bought for a certain fee, we sell them for less. We have never sold a player. Let me repeat this, because we've been in existence a long time. We have never sold a player in my recollection for over 40 million pounds.
Oxley, didn't we get back?
30 something for Ox. We have never sold 25 over that, 30 something for Ox. We have never sold a player for over 4. I know we got Overmars, maybe have been the highest at one point. I forgot what Overmars numbers was. I can't, in today's pounds, I can't recall us selling a player for over 40 million pounds. At least we never sold over 50. Now think about all the teams. Tottenham sold Bale, they sold Modric. All of them over 50 million pounds. Man U sold Ronaldo.
I guess because we normally keep like all the players that we should have sold, we kept them too long. We kept Henry.
Yeah, we kept them long, but we have also got rid of a bunch of players since then. Forget the Vieira and Henry days. Subsequent to 2007, even the Fabregas of the world, we don't sell even today's dollars over the last 6-7 years.
Have we had any player that valued anything much?
Well, you have to think about it, right? So that's part of the problem. Who we have bought, that's part of the problem. We have bought players with no potential.
Yeah, we really have not had a player that we could say, wow, at this time, if we sold him, we would get, like, I'm trying to think about it. No. Even when Giroud was at his best scoring goals, he wasn't valued that amount.
No, the highest one we've gotten.
Walcott wasn't valued that amount when he was even doing well and wanted to be. I think that time when he wanted to be a center forward and that argument and they changed his number, they should have sold him right there. And I think they would have gotten more money for him at that point, but not $40 million.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. We got 40 mil. I think we got 40 mil for Iwobi. Iwobi may have gotten close to 40 million, which is brain dead for Everton. That's why they broke. That's brain dead. We've not gotten over 50 mil, but maybe Iwobi we would have got around 40 mil for, which makes absolutely zero sense because nothing is. But they were buying Gilferson for 50 plus mil, Richarlison for 50. Everton wasted a lot of money, ton of money, $500 million. So they, apart from Everton, we're next to Everton probably, because Everton has been atrocious. But we haven't done a good job of buying and selling on players. That means our recruiting hasn't been that good. And Manning's man, I was looking at this today. Even the 6 players we bought last season, right?
Ben White,
who's not ready.
No, hold on. Let's start from goal.
We bought Ramsdale.
Good purchase.
Good purchase, but
quality.
If you look at the second half of the season, he wasn't the same Ramsdale the first half of the season. We see what happened next year. He got carried away. So you go to right back, Tom has to.
Right. But we got him cheap anyways. I think about
18 million pounds, somewhere in that region.
Yeah. Ben White.
Overpaid.
Okay.
In fact, we shouldn't have bought Ben White, Manning's man. What we should have done is take the Ben White money and bought his teammate Basuma and kept Saliba. Now, here's the reason, Manning's man. It's not rocket science. There's no way you can tell me that Saliba went to France and just got so much better. He was always good. That's why I bought him for 27 mil 2 years before. He's in the France national team. His skill set, his athleticism, his size. He doesn't get bullied. He got speed that Ben White doesn't have and doesn't get bullied. Ben White get bullied. He's not very good in the air, and he doesn't have the speed, and he doesn't have the size. So we'll see what happens this year if Ben White, because Arteta bought Ben White, so he can't bench him. But frankly, he should have bought Basuma, who's an excellent player.
Don't even tell me about it. I don't want to talk about Basuma. I mean, this is like 5 years now until Tottenham has bought him. So that's all right. So that's Ben White, then Martin Odegaard.
Yeah, and it's going to be
reasonable amount because he's still young. We didn't pay a lot for him.
Yeah, but Manning's man, here's the problem with Odegaard. The great teams don't use a 10 anymore. 10 are becoming obsolete, Manning's man.
Yeah.
Does Liverpool use a 10? Does City use a 10? Does Real Madrid use a 10? Does Bayern use a 10? Does PSG use a 10? So Man U use a 10, but we see where Man U is, and their 10 doesn't like to play defense because 10 are always luxury players, Manning's man. The only 10 you would say, you know what, this 10 I would really invest in maybe is Maddison, who can score from out the area, who will put in a shift if he's forced to. Odegaard puts in a shift, but he's very slow, he's plodding. When we put him in the 8, he struggles. We did against Liverpool, we played him and Smith Rowe, and they were awful. So now we bought Vieira, and the question is going to be, is it going to be Odegaard or Vieira? Because Vieira is more dynamic, much quicker, more skillful, can go by you, can make a pass. So we'll see what he does with Odegaard and Vieira.
And people who don't know, when we say Vieira, it is not Patrick. It is
Fabio Vieira. New kid we bought from what? Porto? To come in. Right. Oh, by the way, Banning's man is in a boot.
No, he says it's precautionary. He said it's just totally precautionary. You will see him in preseason.
You wear boot, management. Why you wear boot, management? Why you put that boot?
Precautionary. He didn't want to step on anything. He was probably going to a construction site, and he just wanted to make sure that there's no, tacks or nails or anything like that. So he just said, you know what? Let me put something on my left foot. If the right foot gets damaged, I can work with that, but not the left. Okay. So he said it's precautionary. All right.
Wait, man. We already have two people in the UK NHS, you know. You know what NHS is?
National
The National Health Service.
Yeah.
So Tommy Yasu is now visiting. He's not permanent yet. And Tierney is permanent in the NHS. That's where he resides.
Well, Thomas Partey played today.
Yes. And Partey is also part of the NHS, by the way. We have our right back is NHS eligible, our left back is an NHS employee, and our CDM is NHS. Like NHS people don't play football. They're in the training room. They're in the recovery room. So not a good situation.
Eddie Guna said that he's complaining that we put him on the bench and he has on his Arsenal jersey.
Oh well, Guna, somebody has to be on the bench. We can't play every player.
Oh, we were going through the list of players that we bought last season because you were talking about that. Yes. So we said Odegaard, Tomiyasu.
Wait, go through slowly. So Tomiyasu is injury prone. Very good player, by the way. Very good player. We'll see if he's going to be a standout. Ramsdale is a good player, but second half he was struggling to me, especially his kicking.
Ben White is good, but overpaid.
Ben White is good, overpriced. Get bullied, not good in the air. We'll see how that works out. Who else we bought?
Tavares.
We bought Tavares, who's going to go out on loan because he's had a very up and down season. He started like a ball of fire when he replaced Tierney. And we were saying, is Tierney going to have a game? And now we're trying to figure out to get rid of Tavares because he had a horrible second half of the season. We bought Odegaard, who has been good, not excellent, but good and decent. We'll see how that works out. So we spent 150 million monies, man. And as you were saying before, we don't have any superstar that we bought. We don't have anyone we bought say, you know what? He's going to go on and be domineering. None. It's 150 mil, and I can't show what I bought. That I'm going to walk and say, you know what? I can see Saliba being that way. I don't see Ben White being that way.
Yeah. Boris Johnson is asking, how much players coming from the youth system?
So we have the right back.
We have Smith Rowe now.
Well, no, they've come through already. No, we're talking about not coming through. I think. Look, we have Hutchinson.
Norton Coffee.
Coffee is the one everyone's getting excited about. He played for the England under-19 that just won. He went on loan to Lincoln and did really, really well.
And Charlie Patino.
Patino last year looked like he needed to put on some weight. He looked ordinary, even though he's great for the under-23. He's bulked up, so we see how he does coming back this season. Omari Hutchinson, we know about, but he also needs to put on some weight and some size because the Premier League is a different league. So we do have
the goalkeeper was in the senior team a couple of games. I think because we're going to be in Europe, we may see a little bit more of some of these players in Europe. Like Balogun, who went out on loan. He's from the youth system. So I think they're going to keep him this season, and he may play in some of the Europa games because we need to remember that that's Thursday and a lot of Sunday games.
I'm not sure we're going to keep Balogun. If you look through the team and the positions, and you have two people in every position almost, and if you go and buy two more players, even though you have to have an English quota in the 25-man squad, I'm not sure you're going to be able to keep Balogun, actually. We have Jesus and Nketiah, the center forward. Everyone said we need three. You have three goalkeeper automatic, so you need 22 players. If you look through each position, if you have two in each position, I don't see how you keep Balogun.
But really?
You're going to have three goalkeepers, so you have 22 left.
No, Balogun is a center forward, though.
You can go through it and see. You're going to have Tomiyasu and Soares on the right, Ben White and Saliba, Gabriel and somebody, Tierney and somebody. I'm not sure who those are. Or maybe it's the same person covering both.
Maybe they will get the Martinez guy, Lisandro Martinez, who covers as a centre back and also as a left back.
I don't know. Manu bid 39 mil. I don't know. We bid 34. We'll see what happens. And he played for Ten Hag, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Not sure we're gonna get him. I mean, we if we need to get people, we just need to go in, pay what they want, and move on. Versus, go in, dip your toe in, come back, dip your foot in. By the time you try to dip your whole body in, somebody would snatch the play already.
That's the only thing. Eddie's saying that Tavares sushi is very raw.
Yeah, even more so than sushi, because some people eat sushi. He needs to go out and load. He needs to go to the championship. They're trying to send him outside the country. Shouldn't the championship get toughened up and improve his decision making?
Yeah, but you know what? The one thing I don't like about this window is that I think the first person we should have gotten was still Yuri Tillemans.
I am not the biggest Tillemans supporter,
because I think that position, if Partey, as we know, gets injured, we are back to square one.
Nice man, that's why you should have gotten Basuma. Here's my philosophy, man. Say I have all my defenders, including Tierney, but we know he's NHS. I get Martinez because Tierney's not going to play the whole season. He just doesn't. So I have my back five: Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Tierney, or Martinez. Really good back four. And I have my goalkeeper, that's back five. I have Basuma and Partey in the middle. So my back seven can protect me. I'm not worried about defensively. I can let my front four go run wild, right? I go get somebody else because we're not going to play Pepe. I have Saka. I have Gabriel Jesus. They don't have to work as hard because my back seven can protect me. And my back seven can also keep the ball because he wants ball-playing players, both defense and midfield. The problem we have now is we have Xhaka who can't run, who labors. We have Bakango who's not ready. Tillemans didn't have a good season last season. And defensively was not good. He was not good defensively. We gave up 48 goals. Brighton scored less than we did. Crystal Palace had less goals against than we did. The top three, Liverpool and City had 26 goals against them each. Chelsea 30-something. We gave up about 48 or somewhere in that region. We gave up too much goals. More goals than Brighton, more goals than Crystal Palace. That's not acceptable. So our defense, even though we invested a lot in the defense last year between Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, and Ben White, was still leaking. Now, defense is more than just those players, because your whole team played defense in the Premier League, but we were leaking. The problem we have, man, is that we haven't fixed the defense, which means totality of the team, and we haven't fixed the offense, because we can't score goals either.
Yeah, and well, the thing is that they're trying to also get this other holding midfielder. They have been linked to him, Onana, I think his name is.
So we've been linked to a bunch of players. Fofana, Onana is Belgian, Fofana is... We've been linked to a bunch of players, man, because it's now the fallback. I bid for Rafinha. I've bid for Martinez. It's not working out. They're cheaper options. They're good players, but Onana is 22? We don't need any more babies, man. We need some grown-ups. Everybody keep telling me the kids saved us last year. The kids didn't save anything because we finished 5th. And if they're kids, why are they playing?
Well, Rafinha, as people know by now, looks like he's not even going to Chelsea because I don't think he would have worked at Chelsea.
Rafinha may not be sold. So if you're Leeds, you're saying, okay, I am trying to stay in the Premier League. I sell you to Barcelona and they want to pay me 40-something mil. I think it was probably euros, frankly. Or I sell it to Chelsea and I get 60 plus add-ons. Why would I sell it to Barcelona? I'm not giving you away. I want my 60 million. You don't go to Chelsea, you don't go anywhere. But you're going to help me to stay up. I may sell you in January, so you don't go to the last year of the contract. And then you know what? Team fighting for top 4 or fighting for some other place, they'll buy you. I may get 10 million less, but you help me in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
And he wants to play. He's going to the World Cup. He wants to go to the World Cup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That why would he go to Chelsea? Because there's no guarantee that he's going to start there.
Well, he doesn't want to go to Chelsea. He wants to go to Barcelona. He doesn't want to go to Chelsea. Chelsea came in and outbid us. I think we bid 50-something or whatever it was, and they bid 60 plus add-ons. So I didn't hear what he said about us bidding, but he seemed like he doesn't want to go to Chelsea. His mind is set on Barcelona, as most Brazilians are. But Barcelona can't afford him. Barcelona is bankrupt, man. People don't realize that. They're bankrupt.
They just sold 10% of their rights to La Liga.
Yeah.
Which is
to some other company.
136 million pounds.
Over 10, I think it's for a long period of time, though. It works out to be about 10 million pounds a year. And they also sold their stadium name. They changed the name. Spotify now bought it. they're trying to bring in money from different source. But at the end of the day, they're a perfect example.
So it's no longer the new camp.
Huh?
It's no longer called a new camp.
It's called the Spotify new it's not New Camp. It's Spotify New Camp, I think it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a name before New Camp, I forgot what it was, but it's now Spotify New.
Okay. Loud Music Entertainment is saying Tillemans would be an upgrade on Xhaka. He's even better than El Nene.
Manning's man would be an upgrade on Xhaka. I care, Rod. Look, Xhaka is a decent player. He's an honest worker, puts in a shift. But you need differentiators in the midfield. Look at Man City has De Bruyne. They have, what's his name, Silva. They have differentiators in the midfield. Bernardo Silva. They have differentiators who gets the ball. They're comfortable in possession. They can go by a man. They can make us incisive pass. That's not what Xhaka does. So I think he probably is going to end up playing Vieira beside Partey and then play Odegaard up front. But Vieira is slight. And in fact, Vieira is going to be like Tierney. In fact, he started already like Tierney. He joined the NHS. As soon as he joined the NHS right away. Because he's a boom. I cannot believe he's like Suarez, who we had a low a bad back. We're on the team who does that.
It's like get Saliba out your head like it's lice zero. You know Arsenal. Saliba is not a most cranky. Yeah, but he's coming back. If Arteta sells Saliba, I think it will be the end of him with the Arsenal fan base.
No, because the fans haven't really seen Saliba, right? So they will look. This is the year he has to prove it. And I think the Cronkies are American owners. They don't just fire managers like that. People don't realize that, The Cronkies don't just fire managers like how Abramovich does with Chelsea or other teams do. They'll be patient because the manager, if he interviews well, speaks well, lay out a plan, then they'll buy into the plan, which they're bought into. So we see what happens. But no, the fans won't lose it. Saliba, they lose it when he goes someplace else, does really well, and Ben White doesn't play well. And Ben White, to me, has been totally convincing. And they told me Ben White can play center midfield, he can play right back. I saw him at right back. Don't go back there. Get somebody else to play right back. He wasn't that good.
Yeah. All right. Oh, so it's not the new camp, it's the Camp Nou. Camp Nou?
It's Spotify something. Maybe it's Camp Noe or Noe Camp, one of them. But Spotify is the first in the name.
Fresh God is saying that Vieira is an attacking midfielder solely.
He can play deep and he can also play in the 10.
Yeah. And he's going to develop because he's pretty young as well. And we also bought, I think we haven't been paying a lot of attention to the young Brazilian that we bought. Because we also...
Well, Marquinhos is 19. He's big, strong. He's not the most skillful player, but he's a good player. But he also has a lot of experience because he was coming off the bench at Santos, right? He wasn't a regular starter.
Yeah, but remember, Singh was coming. Gabriel Martinelli was coming even lower from a lower league.
I agree. Yeah. So we hope that. Yeah, but he has a lot of competition, right? He has Smith Rowe, he has Martinelli, he has Reece Nelson, he has a bunch of players. He plays on the right like Saka does. So, and he has Pepe. Even though I know what we're gonna do with Pepe because the coach doesn't fancy him.
I think we have a call. Let me see if we can. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. This is the Arsenal podcast, the Guna podcast.
Man, pick up yourself. Freedom Black FC checking in. Anyway, I'm a top Arsenal fan today, understand? But
you want to question Crank? You have to talk to Cranky. Talk to Cranky. Cranky have all the information. I'm just the host.
You can hear me?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
What do you think about the Arteta regime?
The Arteta what?
Challenging the Arteta regime. You see, Arsenal challenging for any titles, FA Cup, League Cup, Premier League next season.
Well, we won the FA Cup.
Are you an Arteta supporter?
I am on the fence on Arteta. And here's why. Because I think any manager has to be able to manage difficult and challenging personalities. You can't just get rid of people if things are not going well and if they're challenging. And you can't
Why not?
Because you only hurt the club because you give them away for nothing. You give Aubameyang for nothing. These assets cost money, you know. We didn't buy them free. They cost money.
All right, look at Chelsea, right? Chelsea is a winner club under Roman Abramovich. If you're at Chelsea, 1 season, and you don't win a title, you're out the door. You see, this is the problem with Arsenal and Arsenal. Nowadays, Arsenal fans, we have become losers. You understand? That's what the club has become, a loser team. How could we lose 13 games? I'm not used to seeing Arsenal lose 13, 14 games per season. The most I'm used to seeing Arsenal lose is 2 or 3 games per season. Arteta is a mediocre manager. You understand? And we cannot win anything as long as Arteta is the manager of Arsenal. It doesn't matter if you got Ronaldo, Messi, Crespo, George Weah, George Betts, Giggs. We cannot win anything with that manager.
So, caller, think about it this way, actually. You can look at it
with Arteta, though.
So here's a positive way. So no one expected us to finish 5th this, right? With all the kids we had, no one expected us to finish 5th, and we finished 5th. And if we had done our job again in the last 7 games of the season, we'd have finished 4th or even challenged Chelsea.
Hold on. You say nobody expected us to finish 5th. We were in the best position. We could have finished 3rd.
No.
Freedom. No, all right.
Yes.
All right, let's finish because he's talking at the beginning of the season. So let him finish first and then you come on.
Yeah, I'm on a podcast, right? In England. I was the one who had the highest. I picked them to finish the highest of everyone in the podcast, which is I picked them to finish 6th. Most people had them 8 or 7. No one was predicting we were going to make top 4 last year. Given where our team was, given the kids we had in the team, and given the perspective sometime on Arteta, I think we did better than projected. Having said that, I think we didn't make the best buys, spending at 140. And I think we didn't do a good job of how we managed his in-game management. To me, leaves a lot to be desired. It reminds me a little bit of the coach of Jamaica under 20 team, but he's not that bad. Because that coach of Jamaica under 20, to digress, is the worst coach I've ever seen coach a football team.
Listen, Arteta is just Pep Guardiola phone boy. That was the biggest mistake Arsenal made there, Arteta. The manager, the owner, Stan Kroenke, is just cheap. You understand?
I don't think so.
Cheap, Carla. Look, Carla, the man spent $100 million last season.
No, don't get me wrong. Kroenke spent 1 time.
No, Carla. No.
Let me finish. Kroenke spent $150 million in 2 seasons, right? And Arteta still had the chance to build a wonderful, a terrific squad, and he failed. So,
Carla, I have to cut you. Carla.
Let me finish. I cannot be Kroenke for the past 2 seasons because he have given Arteta what he needs and he still fit. That's why I'm Arteta out, never Arteta in.
All right, listen,
Carla.
But listen,
Carla, please do your research before you quote numbers. Please do your research on the numbers first. It's not good to come out with it. But you're not listening, Carla. You're not listening.
Just listen, Freedom, and then I'll let you read.
Can't come in a public forum and misquote numbers. How much did Pepe cost? Just Pepe alone. 2.5 seasons. How much did Pepe cost?
Who?
Pepe, Nicholas
How much did Pepe cost?
What, 67 million?
No, he cost 72 plus million.
72 with add-ons. With add-ons, it went up to 80 million.
No, Carla, you're not. Yeah. Carla, you're not listening. You are quoting numbers which are not correct. Look. There's a narrative that espouses by AFTV that the Kroenkes don't spend any money. I just explained to you that if we spend money better and net spend was better, we'd be in a better position. So when we bought Pepe for 72 million, he wasn't the only player we bought that year. I think we spent over 100 mil. We spent 140 the other day, and we're going to spend over another 100. In the last 3.5 years, we're going to spend over 300 million pounds. And in fact, in the last 7, 8 years, I think it's about £500 million. We have nothing to show for it, or limited things to show for it. That's our problem.
Why don't we have anything to show for it?
We bought Pepe. Remember that team? We bought Pepe and Tierney, you know. Didn't we buy Tierney as well?
But that's what
We bought Gabriel for 27 million,
And
Tierney for 20-something million, Pepe for 72 million.
No, but what manager signed Pepe and Tierney?
That was signed. Wait, it wasn't the manager. Emery wanted Zaha, and we bought Pepe instead. So let's not say the manager. Manager don't make those decisions. The manager may support this.
I know that.
Okay.
But Emery was the man, right? So we got rid of Emery to get Arteta to give him 150 million.
Yes.
And he got rid of. All right, let's say he get rid of Pepe, right? He get rid of Pepe, Aubameyang, Saliba, Maitland-Niles, Joe Willock, Reece Nelson, all the players that were coming in and doing something to move the club forward. He even tried to get rid of Martinelli, but the kid was too talented. And
Carla, I'm gonna take it to task, Carla. Those players you just mentioned weren't good enough. Those players are the one who keep us out of top four. Those players are the one can't get us to the Champions League.
Why?
Nas wasn't good enough.
Hold on. So let me ask that question.
Yeah.
Granit Xhaka is good enough?
No one says Xhaka is good enough, but you can't get rid of all of them at the same time.
Hold on. What's his name? Tavares? Nuno Tavares is good enough?
No, but he doesn't start. He's not a starter.
Right.
He was bought for less than £10 million. Yeah.
No, this is my last question. I'm not really want to do the back and forth, but are you Arteta in or are you Arteta out?
As I said, I'm on the fence with Arteta. I'm neither in nor out.
No. Are you Arteta in or are you Arteta
Freedom
out?
blood.
I told you. I'm on the fence. I'm not jumping on either side. I'm a person.
I don't want to hear that.
No, but you want to hear what you want to hear.
You want to hear what you want to hear, and that's not going to happen. So here's my thing.
All right, Carla, just listen, Freedom Blood.
So he's Arteta in.
No, Freedom Blood.
No, but just
But the man answer. Listen, you may not agree with his answer, but his answer is clear. He's on the fence.
So he's Arteta in.
No, on the fence. That means I'm not in or out. I'm neither in nor out.
Oh, okay.
I'm agnostic. Let's put it. I'm agnostic. I'm not either in or out.
All right, Freedom Block. So listen, because I'm going to let Cranky speak when you hang up. All right, but thanks for calling in.
So here's the thing, Manningsman.
No problem.
Manningsman. The same player caller is quoting are the ones who got us where we are. Had us finish 8. Maitland-Niles.
Reece Nelson.
No, not Nelson that much, because Nelson hasn't played that much. Nelson has been on loan. Bellerin, Maitland-Niles, the Holdings, the Chambers, the Torreiras, all those players can't compete. Here's what Arteta is trying to do, which I agree with. He's looking at this team and saying, you know what? I need to buy players that can get me as close to Liverpool and as Man City as possible. Man, we haven't played Liverpool well in the last 7 or 8 years, you know. We've been destroyed by them. They run us off the field when we play against them. Except in the FA Cup, when they use a junior team, we use our junior team.
Yeah.
Not in the regular NPL. We have played Man City well last year at home. We should have beaten them, for Xhaka did his stupidity like he normally does. But we want to compete at the highest level. To do that, you have to have players with potential that can get them there. May not be there now, but can get them there. And at the end of the day, Maitland-Niles, Bellerin, Holding, even my goalkeeper, who was at German international, we didn't think was there yet. But they got to be Bernardo, yes. Yeah. So when people are saying, that's why I'm not knocking Arteta when it comes to that. His in-game management to me, as I said before, I watch in-game management. I'm not impressed. He's like Wenger. He makes changes at 65 minutes for Smith Rowe and 72 to 80 minutes for Pepe. That's all his changes. Or if we're winning and he want to close the game up, he may put Holding in and create a back five. He's not creative in his changes. I give you a creative change, Manningsman. When Jamaica played, I think it was Suriname, you know, I was late, and my right back was getting scalded, burnt, all sort of stuff. Paul Hall moved low to right? To the right center back, so he can help to cover. Now, he probably should have made a change at right back, frankly, but at least you see him make a definitive move that makes sense, that allow him to cover some of those deficiencies. We don't see that with Arteta. Same thing we see week after week. He can get frustrated. Wenger was the same way. Sometimes you got to make changes. If was here's what I like Conte was won 8 titles in the last 11 years or whatever it is, some ridiculous number, because he's not afraid to make change in 30-something minutes of the game. The only player we have done that with is Tavares when he was awful in one of those cup games. We don't do that with anybody else.
Yeah. Who is better, Unai Emery or Mikel Arteta?
Unai Emery is better based on his resume. His problem was management, which people in English countries are arrogant about. They can only speak English, most of them, but if you can't speak their language well, they disregard you. You don't. When you actually can speak some words in their language, but it's not as clear as you want it to be, or the language is not your first language, so it doesn't come across as well. People speak English are very arrogant. So Unai Emery struggled because he didn't speak the language well. In Holland, as you probably know, and in Germany, English is like almost natural for a lot of people. So you don't see Klopp struggling. You don't see any Dutch person struggling because they speak English as well as we do, even though it's not their first language. You don't have that in Spain or in France, frankly.
Yeah. All right. But I mean, for the rest of the transfer market, because I mean, people, this is our first Guna podcast, and we did say we're going to keep it for 1 hour, but we're probably going to go over an hour, so we're going to do this on Saturdays. We'll let you know.
There's no like button hit to the Mannings, man. So no like the stream, because we don't see the like button that I hit.
Yeah, because if there's no like on the stream, we're not going.
We can't do it. It's a one short thing. We do one and stop.
There you go. So hit the like button, people. But for the rest of the transfer window, where do we need to plug? To move us, like I said, at least for next season. Who would be the ideal persons to plug? If you could go and buy realistic 2 persons to plug 2 spots in the team, where would that and who would those be?
So we need a lot of players, but they're going to be aspirational and they're going to be reality. Aspirational, right back. So let's say we have Norton Coffee, whatever his name is, from the academy. We move in because Soros to me is not good enough. We have Saliba and cover at right centre back, or replace my good friend White. We'll get Martinez, which is realistic, even though Man U may chump us because he played for Ten Hag and they're bidding more than we do. But let's say he chose Arsenal instead. So we have somebody to cover both for Tierney and for Gabriel, right?
And Tomiyasu can play centre back as well, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Cover both Gabriel and Tierney. So cover for the left back and the centre back, because Gabriel is the only left foot centre back that we have, because we're not bringing back Mari. Mari is going out. Either we sell him or we just get rid of him. Because we're good at getting rid of for nothing. We paid about 10 million for him. We're giving away for nothing. We're in the charitable business. So now we have Xhaka. We need to improve on Xhaka. Now, is Lokonga going to be ready? He has a year on his belt. I don't think he will be. Who can we get? To me, the ideal person was Bissouma. The next bet we're going to be Tielemans. Or Fofana, who people are raving about because he's a box-to-box, but he's good defensively. Now, I hold Onana. I'm not familiar with Onana. I got to go. And I hate watching YouTube videos because all YouTube showed me the positive element of the player. It doesn't show me what they don't do well or when they make mistakes. And when they make mistakes, it stops just before they make the mistakes, which I find interesting on YouTube. So you don't get a whole picture. You don't watch them in a game, how they move, how they tackle, how they intercept ball, how they're in the air, how physical they are. You don't get all of that, which is imperative for you to get when you're watching a player. But say we get Tielemans, which I think the problem with Tielemans is man, which we're not hearing is, I hear Robbie them quoting at 25. Robbie's number is always wrong, by the way. Robbie's talking about a player, and his number he has on his screen differs from what he's saying. They're saying 25 mil. Knowing less than Brendan Rodgers,
the market value is Tielemans, because Tielemans, when you look at what they have on their screen, is like 60 odd million.
No. They first had 25, then they have 49 or 40 something.
Yes.
Well, at the end of the day, nobody's going to pay 49 million for a person who last year the contract when Bissouma cost 25.
Yeah.
Bissouma now set the stage or the benchmark for players who are playing in the middle of the park, because for some people, Bissouma is better than Tielemans. So why would I pay more than, say, 30 million for Tielemans? Now, Leicester, unlike a City, who doesn't really care sometimes, need to sell. They can't wait to January for sell, because then he can start negotiating. And why would he want to leave after January? So the window is still long, because the window ends what? Early September?
Yeah, September.
So you have some time, but I think I have to make a decision on Tielemans. And the longer you wait, because sometimes what you do, management, you say, you know what? It's not important for me to get somebody. I'm going to wait them out. Let's see who can play the chicken game. So we need a midfielder. We need a winger to challenge Saka. And we need two wingers, frankly. To me, the kids are not prolific. Martinelli scored, 5 goals? Saka scored 12 goals. And by the way, everybody's raving about Saka. Let me just say this. Saka is a good kid. He's a good player. But give me a break. He's not a world beater. Now, he may have some potential to be possibly a world beater, but I hate to hear all these oozing about Saka across the spectrum. And I'm sitting here watching him thinking, his conversion rate by the 17th game of the season last year was 14%. You think about that. He scored about 6 or 7 goals in bunches, and in the last 7 games, he only scored 2 penalties. He didn't do too much. Where was he dominant in the last 7 games? Where was he dominant against Newcastle? Where was he dominant against Tottenham?
They said he won a lot of free kicks, though. That means he was fouled a lot. He was one of the most fouled players.
This man, they always have excuses for him. So when he doesn't play well, let's say he's double and triple team. I see Martin as a triple team and Martin going by people. I don't see Saka doing that. So Saka is a good player, but what he does, man, he stops the ball a lot. So the defense recovers. How many times has he run by a player? Just pick it up like a Dembele does or Rafinha does and push it by you and then make you you're trying to recover. He stops it. He waits. He's trying to figure out where to go. By the time the defense recover, we're under pressure. So he's a good kid, a good player, but don't make him out to be like he's the next coming of Ronaldo or Ronaldinho, because he's not.
Yeah. What I would do, though, I would get Fabian Ruiz from Napoli. Cheap option, very good player. Plays that box-to-box, can replace Granit Xhaka, can replace Thomas Partey. Spanish international, quality player. 1 year left, cheap, reasonable option in the 26-27 age group right there. So he's a more mature player. I would get him. I'd also get Asensio from Real Madrid, who look like he's not going to re-sign because he can play on the right to replace Saka, or on the left, or he can even play in a number 10 position. I think he's not fast, but he's more dynamic. And then I don't think we're going to get Martinez now that Manchester have bidded for him. So I would get. There was this guy called Aaron Hickney. I think he's a Scottish international, young as well.
No, he's going to Brighton, I think, for 14 mil or something like that. I think Brighton is pursuing him.
All right, but then I would get Grimaldo, which is funny because when we got Nuno Tavares, we got the bench player, and the starter is Grimaldo.
He was cheaper.
And now we are going back in for the starter. Like I'm telling you, Arsenal does the craziest business.
There's some leftover money on Tavares. We just go buy it. We have some throwing money.
So I don't know if this was like, like we overpaid on Pepe, so we could get Gabriel cheap. Is if we bought Tavares first, so we could get Grimaldo cheap.
No, I think there were some shenanigans with Pepe. There were some shenanigans I hear with Pepe. That's why the person who was involved in that, the guy from Dortmund who now back in, some shenanigans occurred. That's why they, sometimes you make these deals, man, and money move on the table. Like you're from Jamaica, you know how that works. Money move, but you know what? You want to say,
Jamaica, you're Frankie from. What is one talking about?
I'm British today. You don't hear me talk about Arsenal. I'm British today.
Dre, anyways, is asking us to call him. He's a Chelsea fan. Should we call him? See that we have that Arsenal podcast. Cranky, what do you think? The call is yours.
You can call him. I mean, he can put his 2 cents in. We're not going to discriminate against you if you Abramovich, who's been banned from the UK, who destroy English, but actually help English football without that money.
Journey Weather, welcome to the Arsenal, the Guna podcast.
Hey, hold on there. All right, say that again, Management.
Welcome to the Guna podcast with Management and Cranky, where we talk all Arsenal. What say you?
All right, first of all, I want to say this. Can you stop putting that narrative, all your Arsenal fans? We're not Hijack FC. Don't call us Hijack FC. Get that out there.
Dre. Hey, Dre. Dre, you know there's a comedy show where they went on a plane, trying to hijack the plane, and the Jamaican on the plane. I'm saying, them boy, they are full. Go ahead, but they might plane. That's Chelsea, where you're trying to hijack something and you haven't checked with the person you're trying to get that they want to come to your club. So now you don't want to have egg on your face because you're trying to hijack something and you're not going to get it. You're trying to hijack a plane and the plane left you.
Go ahead, Dre. We didn't hear you.
I think Dre's having some phone problems. Go ahead.
You're breaking up, Dre. See, get to a better spot and call us back. You're breaking up.
Yeah, Dre, your phone is like the hijack you're trying to do of Rafi. It doesn't work.
That is the craziest thing. I mean, the Chelsea fans were going on. I mean, even in my stream, people put it in there that Rafinha, Arsenal just lost out on Rafinha to Chelsea, only to see that the money is. But that's what I do, Cranky. What do you think about Fabian Ruiz?
I don't know Ruiz that well. I'm always concerned about Spanish players coming to the Premier League. Now,
he's in Italy.
But I'm saying I'm always concerned about Spanish players. Players come to the Premier League. Silva did well at City for years, but he went to Chelsea and couldn't get into the team.
Santi Cazorla,
but Cazorla, they're exceptional players.
Cesc Fabregas
came to us when he was like what, a teenager.
Azpilicueta has also done well.
He's done well, yeah. But he's not that midfielders. Tell me the midfielders. Tell me Suarez. Tell me the ones that we have. We've had two, right?
No, man. We always get the wrong players.
But so I'm saying we had two.
Antonio Reyes.
Reyes was a forward. Tell me the midfielders. I still don't hear the midfielders. You have to run all day. Tell me the midfielders.
We really haven't had a lot of midfielders from.
We had two. We had Suarez, and then we had what's his name from Real Madrid? We did a loan with.
From the Dominican Republic.
No, he's not Dominican Republic.
Yeah, man, he is. Yeah, man, and he played for, and now he represents.
Okay. Well, so we have two, and they just won with Chelsea more recently. I am always concerned about players, the physicality. The midfield need runners, legs, put in a shift. And look, if you're very, very skillful, you may get away with it.
And it's
Ceballos, to me, came and looked really good until he played Liverpool. Then he went out to Real. So, look, I mean, I don't know Ruiz that well, so I shouldn't comment on him. But I think players like Fofana, I've seen a little bit. I don't know Hanana either, but I've heard good things about him.
The other one that is good is the one that Crystal Palace bought from that same team as well. The midfielder that Crystal Palace bought him from the same Lens, I think the name is.
Lens, what the name is?
Yeah, Cheek something his name. He plays Somali, I think.
Corey? What's his name?
Corey. Yeah, one of those names he has. They just bought him because I thought Arsenal would have bid for him because he's a good player. But I have a problem with some of these guys that play in the French league, though.
Well, I mean, you're not going to have a hit on every player. But what happens is the players, a lot of players have physicality, right? Their profile is very similar. Think about all those players. A lot of them are African descent or African lineage or from Africa. They all have the same kind of similar profile. They run all day. They have some skill. They can put a foot in. They can win balls. And that's what you're looking for in your midfield. That's why the Partey and the Basumas do well, because they have that physicality and they have a lot of the skills that you're looking for. Partey is a brilliant player, except he works for the NHS too much. That's part of our problem. Yeah. When he plays for a sustained period, he's really good.
You know what is funny though? So we have an important position, like the left back to replace Tierney, and we have Lissandro Martinez, who can play, according to the reports, he can play CDM, left back, centre back, which I doubt he can play centre back in the Premier League given his height. We were willing to pay 55 million for Rafinha, who would play on the right-hand side that we already have Saka over there, but we don't want to spend the 40 million asking price for Lissandro Martinez, who his position is more important to fill than the right side.
So it's not about position, it's about market value and what you're worth. Because the most important position in the field is what management. Who's the most important player in the field?
Your goalkeeper?
No.
Really?
Okay, what's the hardest thing to do in football? What's the hardest thing to do in football?
Yeah, to score a goal.
Exactly. So that the most important player is the person who put the ball in the net. That's why management. That's why forwards cost so much. That's why you hear Osimhen been costing us 90 mil. That's why forward costs so much money, because the hardest thing to do is to score. That's why they get paid the most money. That's why they get paid the most money.
Arsenal was bidding money. They were outbid on Isaac last season.
They want to sell it for Isaac. They can't sell it back for 25 million this year.
But that's what I'm saying. Why we wanted him last year, but you don't want him this year?
Man, what do you score? 5 goals? What many goals he scored? Money's man, money's man. Every year it's changed, you know. Everything, things change. Circumstances change, things change. I go get Isaac, who's a very good player, but not the most prolific goal scorer. Jesus is not the most prolific goal scorer. Why I like Jesus is this, even though he's not there on the right statue, he's a good leaper management, but he can play football, which is what Abba couldn't do. Abba could score, but the Premier League, you have to be able to play football. I give you the ball and go to the hole and come back out. You can make a brilliant pass. You can get by a man. You can run off at somebody and create space for others. Abba's a brilliant goal scorer, but that's all he does. Can't play football. At least in my, when I used to be on my other podcast, man, and with great Abba, I'm telling you, 10 games in a row, Abba's average score would be a 4. If he scores, he may get a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, because
you can't act in your team.
Yeah, he's really poor though. I mean, his touch is very poor. His movement is very poor.
Management, he can't pass, especially in the hole, management. People don't realize this now. When you're in the hole, which is why Odegaard is so good, you're in that hole, little space, little crevice to go through. That's what Jesus does well. I can't wait to get the link up between Vieira and Jesus, or between Odegaard and Jesus in the little pockets.
Why we don't buy Zinchenko from City?
I don't know, actually. It's an interesting one because we were linked with him early in the transfer window because we can do what Martinez can do.
Yeah.
Because when he played for Ukraine and played against like Scotland, he was brilliant in midfield. So we think he could cover both ends. He can cover for Xhaka. He can cover for left. He can't cover at centre-back. Maybe they think the centre-back cover for Gabriel and the left-back cover is more important because they're going to rely on Xhaka. And they have El Neni, you have Xhaka, you have Lakanga.
But Saliba sometimes plays on the left, you know. Do it right.
The right foot, it's not natural. He may do it, but it's not natural.
Yeah, because I don't want to see Holding play next season, none at all.
He won't play none at all.
Yeah.
He won't play. He will play, but in the League Cups and maybe Europa League.
Holding and Cedric Suarez need to leave Arsenal.
I would concur wholeheartedly that those two. Look, we buy Mari, so we have some volume buy when Arteta was joining them. Suarez, Mari, we bought like 4 players, and then I'll make one. They don't make one. All 4 of them. Same agent, by the way. So sometimes agent influence what you do. And if they're not going to give me a star when they give me all this nonsense, then why am I buying those players? So.
Yeah. All right. So we anything in closing, people tell in closing, Cranky, and then next week again, people. But if we don't get enough likes, we may not.
Yeah, we can't do this if it's not worth your time, you know. So it's all about you. Yeah. You're in the comment section. Tell your friends that if they want to learn about Arsenal and all that's Arsenal, then come to this forum. We can't keep talking if you're not going to enjoy the program. We want your contribution. We want to solicit your contribution, your perspective. Call in. We can debate. I do think if we can get some of the purchase over the line management, we can get the left back, center back thing worked out, the left inside midfielder to play beside Partey. We can't have Xhaka for another season. We have made the Champions League since Xhaka joined us. There's a reason. We need to score goals. We need a left winger and we need a right winger. Saka need to have competition. I don't know what we do with Smith Rowe because he doesn't. I love Smith Rowe as a player, but he doesn't fit in any position. He's not a 10. He's not a. I don't know what he is.
I think Smith Rowe is better than Martin Odegaard. That's me. Smith Rowe is my favorite.
Not in the hole. No, Odegaard is brilliant in the hole, but he can't run.
Listen, Smith Rowe reminds me of Aaron Ramsey, but he's a little better. When Aaron does his best.
I like Ramsey because My midfielder who's playing deep beside my CDM should be able to defend. So what used to happen to us when Ramsey played? We had 8 men forward. We lose the ball and they go down and score. Because Ramsey's in the box in front of the goalkeeper. That's where he always is. He always shirk his defensive duties. So we were always open. Always open.
Arsenal fans, boy. What, just because you Liverpool fan just pay Salah, what, 400,000 a week?
We can't, look, Liverpool is a well-run club now. Liverpool wasn't really well-run 7-8 years ago. They weren't. They were in a shambles. FSG has been brilliant. FSG bought the Boston Red Sox and won the baseball championship when Boston hadn't won forever. They have a real good private equity firm. They have great people who make great decisions. They know how to go higher. We could have gotten Guardiola when he went to City if we had got rid of Wenger when we should have. Waited too long.
Yeah, we could have gotten also Conte.
Could have gotten Conte, could have gotten Klopp, could have gotten every one of them, but we waited too long. Yeah. And then we end up with Arteta, who may be good eventually, but right now, he's struggling.
Demo is reminding that this isn't about Liverpool.
Yeah, no, it isn't about Liverpool. Look, Liverpool has to worry about City. They're not worried about us. They're not worried about City. Here's the thing, man, though. Conte is going to give the top 2 trouble.
You think so?
Conte is a brilliant manager. When we played Conte about 3 or 4 years ago, and we beat him 3-1 at the Emirates, ran him off the park, he went to 3 at the back, played Davies, Lewis deep, and they went on to win the league. Brilliant change. A manager who's very deductive, who's thinking football and realizing, you know what? Me playing 4 at the back, if Arsenal can run me over, I got to change something. He changed it. They went on to win the league. He's won at Juventus forever. He went to Inter and won. Here's what he's done, management. So I'm talking about. He's going to have Højbjerg and Bissouma in the middle of the park, management. They are rocks. You can't get by them. Yes, he's going to fix the Dyer situation. He has Romero. On the right, he's going to have the guy Perisic. And he's going to have the kid from Middlesbrough. He's going to buy Spence. So he's building on a team to compete. And the forward line, management. He has 4 goal scorers up there. Kulashevsky, he bought Richarlison. He's going to have Kane and Son. So they can score. They have the best, probably front 4 in the Premier League. So now he has a middle that can defend.
Yeah, but they don't have a number 10 though. They don't have anybody that plays in that place. So that is why Kane. And I think Kane.
Management, they don't want. Nobody wants a 10 anymore. Why you keep talking about playing that spot? Who was a 10?
Yeah, but
Bentancur, yes, Bentancur, but Bentancur, they're not playing a 10 manning man. In a back 3, you don't need a 10. No big team playing with no 10 manning man. We do, but we're not a big team. Man City doesn't have a 10. Liverpool doesn't have a 10. He's not going to use a 10. Well, Chelsea is Mount, but
at the end of the window, because I like if I should look and say who has really gotten better in this transfer window so far.
City has gotten much better. They now have a goal scorer. They don't have to have goal scoring by committee. They don't have a goal scorer. Liverpool hasn't gotten better. They have been stabilized. So. Mane, Nunez, I think they'll be stabilized. But they bought Diaz in January. So you can say that he'll be better come next year. Chelsea, still to be determined. Tottenham has gotten much better. Tottenham has bought like 5 players. They got Foster as a backup, right? They bought Bissouma. They bought Richarlison. They're going to get Spence. They bought Perisic. They have gotten much better. And they still haven't done shopping yet. They've been linked with 2 or 3 more players. And they bought Kulashevsky in and Bentancur from last year in the January transfer window. So they have added 7 new players in the last, 6-7 months?
Yeah.
And wait, by the way, all they've added is quality now. They're not like how we've added like the Tavares and Lukongu for the future. They've added quality and grown-ups, not just kids. So it'll be interesting to see what we do.
All right, people. Well, listen, very good first show. Very excited as we move forward with this show. So I want to thank all of you, all the fans from the other clubs. You know, the Manchester United, they couldn't take the Gunners stock. Oh my Lord, some of them had to run away.
What we can do, man, is we can split the show up. We can talk Gunner for like half hour and then talk EPL for half hour because we're familiar with all the teams. And for Man U fans, you have a lot of money, but why? You have a lot of work to do. You have to buy enough. And when you buy too many people, it's hard to blend them into a new league as tough as the Premier League. Difficult.
I think, I mean, we're going to talk about, we're going to do that next week, but they need a lot. I think they need to fix their defense. They need to fix their midfield. And they need to, they can't rely on Ronaldo. So that's
they need to fix their team. But here's the man.
Because Matic is gone, you know.
Was he there? Was he there?
Pogba is gone.
The two of them weren't there. It was Mataname and Fred who played most of the year with Fernandez. But here's the thing, man. So if you're Martinez, Lissandro, you want to go to the World Cup. Now, where are you going to play? You're going to get Maguire? You're going to get Shaw? Possibly. Or you're going to come to us, and you're competing with Gabriel, and you compete with Tierney, who would not be in the future. Don't worry about Tierney. You're going to the World Cup, you want to play, come play for us. Don't go to Man U.
Oh, Ronaldo is gone now?
Ronaldo put a request to be transferred. So now they called an emergency board meeting to talk about it, but he's not gone yet. But he's putting who's he going to go to, Manning's man?
PSG.
He's going to PSG. PSG doesn't want him.
What? He's going to PSG to team up with Ronaldo. You think Ronaldo is going to leave with no
Where is he going to fit at PSG? Neymar is not leaving.
He's going to play center forward.
Messi is not leaving. Huh?
Neymar and Mbappe and Messi play the number 10 and they put everybody else on the field.
Yeah, so Manning's man. So I have 4 people all looking at each other when the boys on defense. None of them running back.
You better believe it that PSG would do that.
All prima donnas saying, you go get the ball for us so we can go score. None of them run. That's what they thought they were getting. These prolific offensive team, they could outscore people. It didn't work. So Ronaldo only exacerbated that situation. It doesn't make it better.
Because even Jesse Lingard is gone. Martial is not coming back. The team is that team. They only have Sancho left.
They have Rashford. They have Sancho. They have Fred.
Cavani is gone.
They need a lot of work. They're a rebuild. They're a rebuild team. They need to rebuild. They have a lot of work.
They just got Frankie de Jong. They got Frankie de Jong.
They haven't got Frankie de Jong yet. That's been going on forever. Who said they got Frankie de Jong? You guys spreading rumors. The deal is not done yet. The deal has been negotiated forever. Frankie de Jong doesn't want to leave Barcelona. Barcelona needs money, so they want to sell him. He doesn't want to leave. There are knock-on effects in the Manning's man. He doesn't leave, man, you got to go out and find a center midfielder. If Dembele doesn't resign with Barcelona,
Van de Beek as well, because Van de Beek is out on loan, so he's coming back. Maybe he'll do good under Ten Hag's leadership.
But here's the thing, Manning's man. So Barcelona trying to buy Rafinha, which they don't have money to do. They want Dembele to resign at 40% less than his previous wages. I'm not sure who does that. He was making a lot of money. So there'll be a domino effect. Wherever Dembele goes, that team will then have less need for a winger. If he goes to Barcelona, will they really need Rafinha? If he comes to Chelsea we no longer need Rafinha. But they're going to have Sterling. So there's a domino effect given some of the decisions that are being made about who goes where.
This is great. Yeah, listen, this football market is a crazy market, how things just knock-on effects of things.
Look, here's the thing, Manning's man. We are procrastinating too much. I know it's still early in the window, but Tottenham is doing their business early. Because Conte want to blend them from now. He didn't have all the time last year. You want to get them all in, get them all collated, get them all synchronized, create a sense of harmony, let them adapt to his system. So when he goes on the field for the first game, because Manning's man, last year we lost our first 3 games. 0 goals scored, 9 against. If we had won those 3 games, we'd have made top 4. We can't afford that this year.
Yeah. All right. We have Gunner's boss on the line, and then we're going to close out. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Big up yourself, Manning's man.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Gunner's boss.
Super billionaire Stan Kroenke, a 4th of July weekend, and I can't buy no. They got money to buy 2 turkey and some turkey dog and some turkey thing to put on the grill now.
No, you shouldn't be. You should be a vegetarian. Don't eat meat anymore. So I can't help you. You should not be eating meat. Be a vegetarian.
A turkey me I go buy, man. But you know we have the
turkey no meat.
Hey, we have to put some things. But let's me not start stop play around. We gotta put something on the grill for the kids, man. Not for me, for the kids.
Okay, it's for the kids. So you're gonna eat for the kids. You'll eat for the kids. Then. All right, I hear you.
All right, I'm sending you the cash app right now. Hey,
okay.
Stan,
Yeah.
let me ask you something. I've been hearing on the grapevine that within the next 2 to 3 years, Lionel Messi will be taking over Miami. You hear anything like that on the grapevine?
Nah, I think Messi still gonna play in Europe. I don't see Messi going to Miami anytime soon.
No, he needs to buy it, to take it over, to own
Oh,
it.
to buy from who? From Beckham?
No.
Really?
No, they say that's him, George Mas, Lionel Messi, and the Cuban community, them and them in negotiation. And when this contract up, Lionel Messi will be heading to.
I haven't heard that. And by the time he go to Miami, he can't walk because right now he's barely walking. So I don't see him play too much football. Even in MLS, in MLS the game is slow. But I don't see Beckham giving up unless Beckham is losing money and it's not worth his while financially. No. I don't see him giving up his team.
No, he's not. No, I didn't say give up the team, man. I said come to.
Give up meaning selling the team. When I say give up means selling.
No, he's saying that's not. He's saying talking about just to play.
I haven't heard. Look, it's been mentioned a couple of times, but he said no. It's been mentioned he's coming, and he said no. So I don't think that's the case. No, anyway.
Well, I'm just know so when it happens, you hear it here first. You hear it from me first.
All right. Well, Ben is doing it for LA. Ben is going to LA, so anything is possible.
Yeah. So now I'm moving right along because the show close out. No, like me tell you earlier, me send man a link for the Nothing Personal podcast. I want you to sit down and listen to some episode from way back coming up now. It's like how man is a football enthusiast, owner and what you call it, JFF booster turned podcaster. That's how Mr. Sam.
What do you mean by the man call me JFF booster? What do you mean by that, man?
A booster is someone who supports the teams at all costs.
When you say JFF, you didn't say regular boys, you say JFF.
Me is a booster. Me is a booster for Jamaica football.
I'm a fan of Jamaica football. You said I'm a booster for the JFF.
And by the way, Carla, boosters spend money now.
So Lego that.
No, Carla, you know what they call them booster?
Just make that right. Stand strong.
Hold on, Cranky said something to you. Hold on, Cranky said something to you.
Carla, don't confuse this. Booster, especially in the football community in America, in the college system, are people who spend a lot of money under the table to support their football team. They're not just they're not just fans. They're fans who spend a lot of resources. So if you're a booster for Jamaica football, that means you're spending some money to support the program.
Let me not spend money to support the program. Not me not saying go get JFF, but the little thing we are going for the football. Stay with me there. Hey, watch this. Hear how me boost the program. Hear me as a booster now. Me do some boom. And some people want to go in at the stadium, and me buy 5 people for 5 tickets to go in at the stadium. That money going towards the program done.
That's an indirect booster, but yes, one could equate that to being a booster. In a very tiny boosting, very tiny, not substantial, very tiny.
Yeah, man. But me know what booster is still. I know what booster is. Remember, me is a man where we follow the college football and basketball community now. Whereas now with the NIL and all those things, you know. I want man and you who want to show up on the NIL thing because some things are going on with the NIL, the name, images and likeness for overseas players when not even a workout. You see it? So I want to talk to man for that one thing. But check out Nothing Personal with David Sampson. And the podcast, like how we are doing this right here. I give him a free plug, because I want him to listen one day and hear, I'm giving man a one show, So that's why I give him a free plug. So you listen to him and you will hear the intricacies at the management side and the financial side of football. As sports, because the owners, them most of the time, them just have the money and them want the tax write-off and them want to do something what them call amortization or amortize them assets. $10 for them billions of dollars. Them buy these teams. But at the general managers and the people them were inside of the office now really do the work and know the thing. So the owner where you know with the podcast, him attack for the owner them, but we want people who attack for the players.
Oh, you're talking
else.
Simon Jordan. No, Simon Jordan is a former owner still. That's what he was saying. He doesn't own the team anymore. He used to own Crystal Palace.
Where am I? So he out there spilling the beans and how corrupt the owners are and how corrupt the deals and and all those things are. I sure know he's doing that.
Hey, nothing personal, Gunners boss, but the show I done you know, we know.
Yeah, man, nothing personal. It's just business. It's just business. It's nothing personal. Catch you later.
All right, then respect. Yeah,
so we're gonna do a finance class on Finance 101 because Gunnar Boss makes certain comments which I do not agree with. Nobody's buying no football team to write off anything. Football teams are expensive. It's like throwing a money in the garbage. We talk about write-off. There's no tax write-off for football teams. The team itself may amortize a player. So they buy a player for $10. Every year they may reduce the value by $2. That goes an expense that goes against the revenues they generate. There's no such thing as writing off. But anyway, we can get into that at some future point in time. But people have this misconception that owners buy teams to write off. That's not, no. It doesn't work like that. But anyway, man, it's been good.
Good show. Where do you expect? Demo, I can't answer this until the transfer window is over. When the window is over, then I can determine. So I'll wait. You can tell me.
Even then, it's challenging, but I would agree that the window needs to be over for you to assess all the players you have. You need two teams. You need You need 22 players, apart from your goalkeepers, who can compete for the positions on the field. Not have like 12, 13, because you say we have 5 changes. So we'll see how managers change how they manage a team. You want to have players who can compete for position. Because when I substitute someone, his replacement needs to be very good.
Yeah.
All
right. So again, Cranky, very good show. Thank you so much. This is brilliant. People, all right, this is the first time. So I know it was predominantly Arsenal, but like Cranky said, when we do it again, we will incorporate and talk about the other clubs, so you can give your views and your clubs and share with us what your club is doing. We want to thank you for watching. Again, please ensure that you hit the like button, share it, and also subscribe if you have not. What this man saying, Liverpool wrapping up. Diva, you know what I'm going to do? One of the shows I want you to come on and talk about Liverpool with Liverpool and Arsenal with Cranky and I.
By the way, Demo, so Man City has decided to leave the Premier League and go someplace else. They go into another league because I thought they bought Haaland. I thought they bought Calvin Phillips. I thought they threatened
Manchester
from Argentina. Huh? They bought us the kid from Argentina who's young but is prolific. They bought Alvarez. They bought Phillips. They're only buying quality in the management, quality replacement. So they can afford to give us Jesus, or sell us, like they say, and they can afford to probably sell Sterling, but they have able replacements.
And I don't think they have finished shopping yet.
They probably need another winger.
Yeah. But we'll discuss
that. For 100 million, I didn't really use it. So.
All right. I'll definitely be on to chop it up. All right. Definitely. We'll set it up, Devo. But again, thanks to everyone for being a part of our first Guna podcast. Really enjoyable show. So glad that you were on. It was our pleasure having you. We're going to do this again next week, Saturday at 4. All right. How can you subscribe, Management, when it is subscribe only mode? CC, is that a trick question? So what you do, you go and subscribe. The subscribe only mode. CC.
My final thought to Demo is, Demo, my team has won more Premier League titles than your team. That's all I'll say. We have won more Premier League titles than Liverpool.
You hear that, Demo?
Demo, take that one with you.
He's going to tell you about the league.
No. It's a Premier League, Manningsman.
No, but you know what the Liverpool fans are going. That's what they're going to. I know, but that's what they're going to tell us.
The league wasn't the best league in the world. We have won more titles than Liverpool when we were the best league in the world. Not debatable.
What? What do you mean by Haaland ain't guaranteed? Phillips is in a hospital.
Demo is a good point. All those are good point, Demo. But Nunes isn't guaranteed either, and Mane left. So you're net in the same position.
Cranky, Cranky, we're gonna leave this Liverpool and titles because they start calling us deluded and say you're ridiculous. So
we have won more Premier League titles than Liverpool.
Thank you, CC. Thank you, CC. Thank you, CC. There you go. CC telling them. See there. CC is telling them. Thank you, CC. And
they won the first title in 30 years, 2 years ago. 30 years took them to win a Premier League title. We won a while ago. We haven't won one in a long time, but we won a while ago.
There you go. All right. Just when we are about okay, you know, this is. I knew that this was going to come. This I didn't want to go. And I have one.
Demo. Let's Demo. Put your blinkers on. We said Premier League. No one stop branching the information. Go out and start widen the gap about. We're not talking about FA Cup. We're not talking about. Because we can talk about FA Cup in a demo. In the last number of years, we've won a ton of them. We're talking about Premier League title. Let's stop expanding what that entails. Because you've won more Champions League. We haven't won any. You won with Gerrard. You won more recently with the Salahs of the world. Premier League is what we're talking about, Demo. You only have one. One dege one of them at Jamaica. One. You get one too. You almost never got in it.
The pandemic cup.
Exactly, your pandemic cup.
All right, well, people, listen, we want to thank you again and again and again. So please join us next week, Saturday, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. local time. Right, Cranky? Or it's 3?
Yeah.
East.
At 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Jamaica time.
Yeah. A fan of Arsenal and the reggae. Let me just take this one. I will close it. I don't know how I got myself into this mess. Being a fan of Arsenal and the reggae boys.
Well, if you're an Arsenal fan, depending on how old you are, young. I figure you're young because you were in the glory days in the turn of the century and right after that, 4 or 5 years. Things haven't been great the last number of years. We're trying to recover. If you're a fan of the reggae boys, I suggest you get another hobby.
And on that note, we are washing out of here. Again, enjoy the rest of your evening. Remember, the coach's desk have the second night of the Triple Treat tonight that starts at around 7. There's also the Ryan LFC channel. There's Sports Frenzy. There is Formula, Military Guna doing some U20 football across Jamaica. Who am I leaving out? Talawa TV covering the reggae girls. Oh, geez. Who am I leaving out? I don't know. But just check out some channel and show them some love. I'm management, and that over there is Stan Cranky. The red, as you know, represent the big Arsenal, right?
Yes, we are Arsenal owners, and we spent a lot of money. But my fans have not appreciated how much money I've spent.
Yeah.
We have to remind them so they can realize that we spent $500 million in the last 10 years.
And one of these days, we want to get some of these guys on AFTV to challenge them. Because some of the things...
I would love to have that conversation. I would love to have that conversation.
I want to challenge them.
In fact, when I go to, because I'm going down to Orlando to go watch Arsenal against Chelsea.
Yes.
If I run into them, I will have the conversation.
Yes. Definitely. All right, so you take care, people. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yo, watch about dog, SK New Earlys, the body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Ocho Race, Galtigo Bay, everywhere. I Am Sure Sports, check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like, yeah. Someone on for the food from we young, from we day, you need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.